Good morning, Suzanne.
Good morning, Deborah, LeeAnn.
So, Gene Key 6. This is exciting for me because I've been playing with this ring of alchemy and the last four gene keys of Divine Will, Transfiguration, Illumination, and Peace. This is the fourth one to kind of round that out. And I can really feel the transmutation that happens when we talk about this great graduation. It kind of feels like a maturation of our systems when we go from conflict to peace through diplomacy. You want to start on some conflict stuff? Because I have a few things to say.
This is Gene Keys written by Richard Rudd, and we're talking about states of consciousness. And this sixth key, in the shadow nature of it, and we all have seen it, we've all experienced it, is in the repressive nature, is over attentive. You remember times in your life when you may have compromised yourself. You may have, say, been a people pleaser. And so you're just wanting to make everything nice and contained to maintain the peace. Like you maybe were one of those people who were in a family where your presence was the
peacekeeper
trying to keep everybody nice. So and then you compromise your own integrity by doing that because you're not speaking your truth. So the opposite is the reactive. That's the tactless, like just angry, will say whatever one says. They close off their heart and keep everybody at bay. And so they have no tact, and they don't even take responsibility. It's like an unconscious thing. They don't even take responsibility for what is coming out of their mouth. Like they're just think of a whirling dervish, like just crazy making. So
Tasmanian devil comes to mind.
Yeah, not whirling dervish, Tasmanian devil. That's it. Yeah. So that's just a backlash, kind of reactive. And most people, as you might imagine, if there is somebody that's always in that state, they've got to have the other be the people pleaser to maintain that relationship. Otherwise, that relationship would not exist. So it needs those two pieces in order to exist. Yeah. But out of such that ability in our DNA, we do, once we really start to own our own emotional intelligence and our own formulation, much of which happened during the first when we were 7 to 14, and that maturity of how to deal with your emotions, comes diplomacy. And that's where we are having this recognition that can be harmony within individuals if we take that emotional charge.
Yeah, it's I view it more like I remember doing a whole thing on collapsing of dualities, right? It's like, the tagline for this is the battle of the sexes. And it is this duality, like right, wrong, good, bad, male, female, versus, can we own all of it? Can we go, oh yeah, I'm a woman, you're a man, I have a lot more or maybe less testosterone, than you. And how do we find a way to hold true to who we are and love that person, listen to them and learn from them. And this is fascinating to me because it's kind of where we are in our country right now. It's very hard because to have diplomatic conversations with other people when we can't hear their side. And we're like, but I'm right. So this is, I find it such a timely key. And I also don't think that very many people get to that diplomacy, which is a much more, to me, this gift feels like it's more elusive than a lot of the other gifts. It feels like it's harder not harder. It takes more awareness and consciousness to get into that diplomatic state. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I truly believe that it takes a lot more honesty. I mean, that
Oh, yeah. And
we
not
got to be
being
honest
so,
with ourselves.
yeah,
About,
not being afraid of this is how I'm feeling. I can hear how you're feeling, but I
right.
just want you to know that this is where I stop, you know? And and that truth telling, which is one of the pillars of the school of light, is it's something that takes courage. Yeah, honesty, but courage to be honest. So anyway, diplomacy is I think it's a rare art, and that's why we call our ambassadors to other countries our diplomats, you know, because they're able to go represent our country but learn about the other. Well, hopefully.
So there's the yeah. So just when you think of a diplomat, somebody that is giving and receiving and is able to be there without reaction tendencies. There's listening, and then there's expressing, and there. I mean, there is that emotional maturity of being able to not be hijacked by reactivity.
Right. And to maintain, I think you used the word earlier, tact in communications, in the energy field between the two or more people. So it's I think it's a fun thing to practice, even in safer places, to build that muscle, because I just don't think it comes natural. I think we need to literally grow into it. Wisdom of the ages, but you know, there's a lot, even but young people, I can see that they've already got that, where they're so much more accepting of, oh, that's how you see it, huh? That's how I see it. So anyway, it's a beautiful thing. So do we get to move to peace?
Yes, peace. Oh my goodness. Well, it's called building the body of glory, and that's when you are really. I think of the empty vessel, like you. It's there's non-attachment. It's almost like a Buddhic kind of state of being. Um, and of course, I always think of Buddha when you think of peace,
Mm,
or a dove, a Christ dove, or you know, it's the symbolism is all there. But there is no defensiveness,
right.
no need for defensiveness, because you see everyone as the allness of who they are, and that you're not separate from anyone.
Right. And it, you know, one of the side notes is the ultimate defense is emptiness.
Right.
This is the essence of the wisdom taught by the great sages. You know, to be empty enough that we can receive the other person's energy and it doesn't like stick to us, it doesn't affect us, we still love them.
Doesn't
And
rock the boat.
right. Um, the do you want to speak to the physiology of this, and then I'll do the mudra.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The physiology is the mesenteric
Mesenteric
flex,
lumbar. Yeah.
which is the lumbar ganglia. And what we know that this is the nervous system that runs along your spinal cord. And what really comes to me when I think of this is, you know, really a lot of nervous system work. So you're not in that defensive mode. Like how can we calm that those maybe old habits of our nervous system getting in flight or fright or fight or freeze, you know, like making that space for us to be with those emotions without spinning out of control.
Yeah. And it's also something about the mesenteric means it's attached to the nerves around the stomach lining. So to me, it's like the digesting, allowing the other to be there, and that I just allow it to go while we digest and it goes through, right? So hopefully. And I love that. So this is a different, and he called it a plexus. the mesenteric lumbar ganglia plexus, which I didn't even know there was an energy center there. So that was pretty interesting to me. Um, the I want to show the mudra. It's you put your right hand on your heart, so it kind of crosses over to the left side of you, and your left hand goes on top, and your thumbs are pointing up. And I think every time we put the left hand onto the right hand, it's a calming, mothering, loving energy. And he said, you just breathe in and let the peace in. And I believe he's in the teaching of this, I think he said something about allowing the peace to fill all the cells of your body. Oh my God. More of that, please. So,
Peace be with you.
yes, beautiful way to end. Till our next time together.